Hey everybody, this is going to be a really quick video. Keep it snappy. It's getting late in the summer, got a lot going on. So here we go. Last week, I initially came in thinking Tuesday low and tech strength might carry through, but obviously Tesla and Google did not cooperate. VIX was giving warnings, as well as the sentiment meter that I talked about extensively, really playing out in the most widely owned names. And I do think it's likely that the combination of daily and weekly extreme is hitting the popular names that where people buying calls, and the other stocks that where they're not as widely owned are doing great. They're doing fine in terms of Dow, Russell, etc. Many small stocks to choose from, and including cryptos. Everybody wants to know my crypto outlook, which is playing out so far quite as expected. So, the other thing I want to emphasize before we get going is that I am a setup-driven market participant. And I said this before, I'll probably keep saying it. Weekly chart view, if something, what is it? I think we had a major, index top, especially tech or semis, when VIX confirmed. But obviously, that's not the case in the Russell and not the case in crypto. So it just depends on what you're doing and how actively you're managing. And then what is a swing, great opportunity on something may be sit and do nothing on another time frame. And then same thing with intraday. So point is, I do look for similar setups across these time frames, but what exactly is happening? So if you just want like buy here, sell here, it really depends on what you're doing. That said, I want to share with you my view of what the best setups are, which always have to do with rotating into strength. Here's the Russell, and while I may not have piled in on the 10th, still really nice ad setups recently and poised to go higher. And then on Bitcoin, when tech was flying, it wasn't really doing anything, but it did get going right on schedule. And now both these are above all pivots, above all moving averages. What would I rather own? That or try and get the bounce play in a market that already looks like trouble? For me, it's just easier to rotate into strength. And we're small, most of us are small enough to be able to do that, especially with all the vehicles available. Do ETF, leverage ETF, options, stocks, options on stocks, cryptos, spot, leverage are all kinds of ways to play. So what I wanted to share with you is one of the best data edges in markets. And I did a whole deep dive webinar on this. So I am gonna mention that a little bit. And because it's in play this week. And so what is it? A very simple edge. And in stronger bull markets, it's really a place where it does not drop very much. Now, last time Bitcoin had a rare drop, although that was not a strong bull market at the time. And right now, obviously, the leader is the Russell, and it's opening powering up. So Monday on track. I thought Monday would be strong or best chance. So what this is, here's some data, some interesting data. So this is just the moon divided into four. Probably some of you are going to be familiar with this if you follow my work. But here it is, all data. This is the data that got picked up in Wired, some of my tweets on this subject. This is May 2020 to current, and look at the outperformance on Q4 in almost any time frame I select. It's huge impact on Bitcoin. So that would have been start of the current environment post-COVID. Here's current longer bull market, November 2022, still outperformed. These are all markets, so all days are included. Here's the more recent bull market, and then this year also doing well. Does it work for ES? Well, actually, yes, it does. Similar timeframes, May 2020, fourth quarter. Totally. Look at that. That is just mind blowing. And then 2022, 2023, this year. I mean, this is off the hook, off the hook. So I've done a whole deep dive webinar explaining this if you want to see what this is about in more detail, and really tried to make it something very clear for everybody and explain exactly what is going on and why this edge works. And you know what? It's not, as some of this data really showed, it's not just 1 year. And there's something going on here that limits selling. And while we're on that subject, I do want to show you something else. So this is each bar is kind of 1 month, and I'm going to expand this a little bit and show how rarely, back to my Tableau for a second. And just, so here we are back to 2020, and it just, oh, sorry about that, folks. Getting just screen issues, but it just very rarely drops big, and that's one of the strengths of it. And so in a stronger market, it's really the place to put on leverage. And so far, that's looking good, especially Russell. And, we're heading to the Fed, where they're probably going to talk about rate cuts. And we just had a correction, 5-ish% S&P, getting not quite 10%, but close in the NASDAQ, as other things are fine. Cryptos are powering up and both parties starting to change their tune. I'm looking for a bounce, and I want to play it in the leaders. That's going to do it. Stay tuned throughout the week. Good luck.